As social media showed the moment we flipped the calendar to 2026, we have a real fondness for the year 2016 and 10-year anniversaries of stuff. And how could we not? It was a truly great year. It was the last time Rihanna and Frank Ocean dropped albums, Stranger Things debuted, Beyonce broke the internet with Lemonade, the Oscars ended in chaos, shout out to Moonlight. In sports, we had the Rio Olympics deliver legends like Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, and Simone Biles, improbable championships for the Chicago Cubs and Leicester City, a buzzer beater to win the national championship game on the men's side, and a four-peat on the women's side, and Peyton Manning riding off to the sunset with a Super Bowl win. But nothing caught everyone's attention like the 2016 NBA Finals. It gave us maybe the most iconic play in NBA history, and maybe the most pivotal shot in NBA history, which was the conclusion of maybe the greatest, most epic NBA Finals matchup of all time, which birthed maybe the most unforgettable meme in sports history, well, maybe the second most unforgettable meme. But these moments were only the culmination of a whole monumental NBA season. We're going to recap the 2016 NBA playoffs in great detail in the coming episodes, but before we get into that, you have to understand why this nostalgia hits so hard by starting in the regular season. You can't talk about 2015-16 without remembering how the Warriors started things off. They were coming off of a controversial championship run that created as many haters as bandwagoners. Remember, they were a young, unproven jump shooting team in the 2015 playoffs, and many thought they had a cakewalk path to the finals. Kevin Durant was hurt almost all season, so no Thunder to contend with. The defending champion Spurs lost in the first round to the Lob City Clippers. The Clippers, who had eliminated the Warriors in 2014, lost in the second round to the Rockets, and each team the Warriors played en route to the finals was missing its starting point guard at some point in the series. And then came the finals against LeBron and the Cavs. No Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving went down for the series in Game 1. So naturally, the criticism was that the Warriors stole a title they wouldn't have won if the Cavs were healthy, which prompted reigning MVP Stephen Curry to say this at the beginning of the season.
I don't want to just say I apologize for us being healthy. I apologize for us playing who was in front of us. Apologize for all the accolades we received as a team and individually. I'm very, truly sorry, and we'll rectify that situation this year.
At this point, Steph was still the babyface assassin. We didn't know he was as vicious a competitor the league had ever seen. Yet. The Warriors came out the gate angry as hell, like a revenge tour with nothing to avenge. 24 straight wins, including one by 50, and team employees celebrating not losing by 50. The best start to a season ever, 9 games ahead of the next best at 15 straight. The streak somehow accounted for just under a third of their total wins this season. So we'll see them again soon. The story on the other side of the bracket was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Bron and Company also came back angry. They felt like, if healthy, they would have won the championship. And once Kyrie recovered from his injury in December, the Cavs were off to the races, winning 9 of 10 entering an MLK Day matchup with the Warriors. They got smacked by 34, and even though they were tops in the East, it seemed pretty clear there was a wide gap between the two squads. So despite a 30-11 record, they fired their coach David Blatt and promoted associate head coach Tyronn Lue. This was the pressure they faced to keep up with the Dubs. There were a couple of other teams breathing down Golden State's neck, but they were in the West. The Spurs, with MVP runner-up Kawhi Leonard and the last hurrah for one Tim Duncan, ended the season with 67 wins, 10 games better than any team outside the Warriors. The Thunder, powered by a healthy KD and Russell Westbrook getting more triple-doubles than anyone since Magic Johnson 34 years prior, gave the Warriors some headaches, including maybe the greatest regular season game in NBA history in February. That resulted in this.
Rebound taken by Iguodala. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
This feels like a good time to talk about the other thing that happened in February. We got the best dunk contest of all time. As everyone knows, the dunk contest had been floundering for a few years under a mess of gimmicks and a lack of drama. That all came to an end thanks to two dudes, Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. I'm just gonna shut up now so y'all can watch.
That's a 10. Raise the rim, Barney. Raise the rim. I've been said this since 2000. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. He jumped over the guy on a hoverboard. He said, I'm 6'10", so I'm going to jump over a guy with a hoverboard. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. Good night.
I think we have a
good night, sweetheart.
I think he just went back to back.
Yeah. Good night,
He just went back to back.
Yeah.
Those guys were just starting their careers. But one way to really appreciate the passage of time is to consider the players who we never saw in the league again after 2016. We mentioned Timmy, but another Hall of Fame power forward hung him up too. Not before putting Blake Griffin in the hoop though. Amari Stoudemire walked away wearing a Heat jersey. Sadly, so did Chris Bosh, who was forced out by blood clots. But of all the familiar faces playing their final games, one in LA dominated the headlines, even though it didn't have any playoff ramifications. No, not Robert Sacre. 2016 would mark the end of Kobe Bean Bryant's career. One of the greatest players and most prolific scorers of all time was calling it quits after 20 seasons. The final chapter of his career had its ups and downs. The Lakers weren't good. Most nights he was a fraction of himself. Others, you'd see the flashes. He still scored at least 25 points 13 times and happened to give us the greatest send-off in league history. A 60-point masterpiece against the Jazz, with every celebrity who's ever watched a Lakers game in attendance. 50 shots in his last game, theatrics, an unforgettable show. Oh, that is very Kobe. The most perfect of curtain calls. On that very same night, at the very same time, one channel away on the dial, the Warriors were doing a bit of unthinkable history of their own. Their 73rd win, the most in NBA history to surpass the immortal 1995-96 Bulls, on the final night of the NBA season. And that's how the regular season ends, with the Warriors holding on to history, Kobe saying goodbye, the Cavs looking to conquer the beast, and the Thunder, Spurs, and Clippers trying to become the new big dogs. What happens next? Oh, it goes up from here. In the rest of this series, we'll go through it all. The games, the memories, the what-ifs, the drama, the agony of defeat, and the joys of victory, and what has to go down as the most consequential and unforgettable NBA playoffs of all time. Take a trip with us as we relive 2016.